we'll have some fun.
Talk about some child's play.
Talk about some child.
Yes. So
Child's
we have the Child's Play folks here. I don't know if you guys want to share the front mic or it's probably more casual.
Or you guys could also stand. I think that would work too.
Yeah, I don't know if it's more awkward to stand.
You go sit down on the mark there.
Because one of the
you could
Sit in.
Because we're really excited. This year we have we're going to have 3 people on site to represent Child's Play. One of the things that happened over the year is our good friend Jamie Dillon, who was with Child's Play, has actually gone on to do her own company and is consulting with actually working with us and that sort of thing. But she's here. We wanted to make sure that we made that transition, that she is helping Desert Bus, and we have Child's Play on site. We have Eric, who has the microphone over there, and Travis, and then Kristen will be coming Wednesday. So we have, you guys are basically tagging out each day, so there will be somebody on site representing Child's Play the whole time that we're here, which is great because we want you to see how much we suffer in person, and it's also good for us
to stink in person.
Yeah, exactly. Just smell the donations as they come in. But it's great for us to remember kind of why we're doing this. We always know, we talk about it, but having you here to be really able to talk about where the money's going, the stuff that has developed over the years since we started 10 years ago, a lot has changed with Child's Play, and so I was hoping you guys could tell us a little more about that.
Sure. So, over 10 years. So, actually, in the last couple of years, we've started doing tours of hospitals and visiting them with our partner called Game Changer Charity down in South Orange County. And that's really opened our eyes as to, we had this vision before that if we just send, 10 Xboxes and a bunch of games and some DVDs every year to all the hospitals, they'll be fine. They'll know what to do with them. And we've sort of, after having visited them, we've realized that a lot of hospitals either don't know what to do with them because they're not gamers, or they don't have the technical capabilities to deal with them because they don't have Wi-Fi, they don't have the space in the rooms, they don't have they don't know how to do the Windows or the updates, the Xbox updates, any of that stuff. So we've sort of been tailoring our packages, sort of limiting more and asking them, like, what do they want? PS3s? Do they want PS4s? Do they want Xbox Ones? Do they want Wiis? And then giving them also some money as well so that they can sort of individualize their purchases directly for child life departments. Engineering has a copy of our therapeutic video game guide, which is something else we've worked on that is, and maybe they'll link it in the chat as well, or maybe they already have, I don't know. It's something that we've come to realize, since a lot of the child life staff and parents are not gamers, rather than just giving a game to a kid that needs a game purely for distraction, you can really sort of fine-tune the games to really help therapeutically whatever sort of symptom, and I sort of put quotes because they're not like medical symptoms, but symptom that they have. So if a kid is sad, give them a game with bright colors and happy sounds and things like that. If a kid is in pain, you want games that are going to engage them constantly. They don't have pauses. They don't let them sort of stop and think about their pain. They just keep them busy. There's a very big difference between a game for a short-term stay like Peggle, which is good in the waiting room, and a game for a long-term stay like Mass Effect or Final Fantasy that will keep them engaged over months. Like, you don't want to put Final Fantasy in the waiting room. That's not useful.
That's a really good point.
They'll never start the game.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
We have some copies of these in the waiting area, and I was taking a look at it, and I was just like, yeah, I didn't even think of, like, there's a lot of games that people who don't know how to, like, handle, or, like, that don't know what games really are and different, like, this is such a good guide.
There's
like,
so much
it made so much
training.
sense. Like, I didn't even think about it. I'm like, they're just giving a bunch of games.
Yeah, so we started rolling this out. We've had it for about a year now. We've sort of given it, we want to get it out there to as many people as possible. We're not selling it. We just want to get out there. And yeah, I mean, it's turned out to be super helpful. Some of the stuff is a little bit dated because it was developed about 2 years ago. So it's some of the stuff in there is, maybe older now. And we'll come out with a new version. One of the things that will hopefully be in the new version is virtual reality stuff. Because as far as being able to escape the four walls of the hospital, there's nothing better at this point than virtual reality. And for therapeutic-wise also, there's nothing better to try to escape your pain, you give a kid a VR, say, Fruit Ninja game. where they have to chop the fruit, and they will sit up and move in ways move their arms in ways that they wouldn't otherwise. It would be very difficult to get them to do just for, you need, therapists there, you need to move your arms this way for your therapy, but if you just give them the VR headset and some watermelons to chop, they'll be all about it. So VR is sort of our new, or VR and therapeutic games in general is sort of our new push. We'll continue sending games and toys because that's the core, but a lot of hospitals have that now. So now we're sort of educating and trying to educate and encourage more therapeutic use of games.
I'm going to switch out with Kathleen. It's like seamlessly. No one noticed.
I don't know, since we're here, I don't know if the chat has any questions or if you guys have any questions about what we do or wanted more stories. We visited.
I'm also curious, as I run away, what just drop my question and leave. Outside of just hospitals, you've expanded beyond that, because I was curious if you could tell us a little bit more about that. And
thanks for stealing my question.
We'll answer it to you and not her, because she left.
Wonderful.
So we partner right now with a little over 100 domestic violence shelters in the United States, and we gave them a cart that had an Xbox 360 and games and some board games and things like that, so that they could move it in and out of rooms so families could have a chance to play and have a little bit of privacy. But also we tried to find shelters that talked about how they could use this as a way for a counselor to sit down next to someone, because it's a lot easier to break that ice if we're playing a game together than it is if we just sit down across from each other in a room and I go, so, how's it going? How are things right now, right? If we're playing a game, it's a lot easier. And we're actually looking right now, we want to expand that, so we've been at just over 100, and we are looking to partner up with Games Cases, which is a briefcase that has inside it a screen and will fit a console.
Awesome.
And Fully Loaded Consoles, which is a company that does what its name says. It gives consoles that are fully loaded, full of games ready to play, so that the shelters don't have to deal with discs or updates or any of that kind of stuff. Fully Loaded is there for their support, so that these systems are ready to go. Just here is this briefcase with a system. It's easy to take to wherever you have to play with it, and give them access to a huge library of games.
That's really cool.
There's a couple questions in the chat I'll hit real quick. Child's Play in general, in partner with Game Changer, visits about 15 hospitals a year. We split that amongst the 3 staff that work at Child's Play, me, Travis, and Kristen, who you'll meet later this week. And then Ottawa, Canada, I'm not sure, but if you look at our website and hit the donate, you'll see a map, worldwide map with all the pins of our hospitals. I don't have it right here in front of me, but you can look and see if we're there or not. If we're not, we would love for you to talk to them, the Child Life staff there, or the hospital in general, and reach out to us, info@childsplaycharity.org. We would love to get more hospitals in our network. That is definitely something we want to do.
In the middle, the applesauce disabilities, people with disabilities playing. Keeps jumping, so I can't read the whole question. But
so we don't specifically do anything necessarily for people with disabilities. We give, we do give some money now to the Child Life departments and let them sort of, some of them do buy, special stands or controllers. But Able Gamers Charity, you can Google them. They're a fabulous charity they advocate for on the game developer side, so that games have customizable controls and able to use custom controllers, and as well as they also provide support for hospitals to be able to get custom controllers, either sort of things that are sort of maybe you can buy online, or that are truly bespoke, one of a kind sort of things for specific instances or patients. Child's Play volunteering, we have tons of information about that on our website. You can do, really the biggest thing we do is, or that we need is fundraisers. So like this fabulous one that's happening right now. But it doesn't have to be as big and wonderful as this one. I have on my wall a picture of it's a handwritten note from one of our smallest charities. That's it was a lemonade stand that a kid did, and it's like drawn in crayon. It's like we give money for sick kids. We made a lemonade stand so we can give money for sick kids or something like that. But anyway, so like it could be a super small fundraiser as well. Just you and your friends streaming. Streamings are super easy. We have lots of information on how to do the widgets and stuff on our website. But it could be a lemonade stand. It could be a bake sale. It could be game night at your local hospital or not hospital, library. It could be a hospital, library, game, school, wherever. Whatever you want to figure out. 11 years ago, no one had thought of playing a stupid, boring game for a week as a charity. So think of something new. It's fine.
The example that Jamie, I'm not affiliated with Child's Play, but this is the thing that Jamie always mentioned was any tiny amount can even buy like batteries for a controller or like an app.
Crayons.
Yeah, crayons. Like
Play-Doh.
It's just like you don't need to be raising as much as we're doing here because like this is a significantly bigger production, but like any tiny amount can actually go a long way.
Yeah,
So-
there's charities in Victoria where they try and get kids involved, and like they encourage, instead of getting gifts for like birthday parties, is toonies. Bring toonies instead of gifts, and it gets donated to the charity.
What a fantastic idea!
Like-
As someone who has a child that people want to bring things to, and that I have a terrible weakness for buying things for. There's a certain point at which you're like, this child needs not another ounce of crap.
Well, exactly. Like, there's nowadays kids seem to invite all of their whole class to birthday parties. That's sometimes 30 kids. Your child doesn't need 30 gifts. So if you even spend a fraction of that and send your kid to the birthday party with
Also,
toonies, because we're Canadian, but a $5 bill.
Also, I think
that makes a difference.
if you're the parent who says, don't bother buying my kid some sort of plastic garbage that will have to eat up your time to buy, just bring a small donation to charity, you will be like the most liked parent in the class.
Exactly.
This is going to absolve me from so many things where I get in trouble with the other parents because they're like, we need to do some fundraising. And I'll be like, this is stupid and you guys are crazy.
Steve's kids, my brother, the king of Desert Bus, every year on their birthday, they actually ask everybody to bring in non-perishable food items to the birthday party, and then they donate it all to the local shelters.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, like little things like that can make a big difference, and then it gets kids involved, creating the new generation of fundraisers for charities, like
And less greedy children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone was asking, like, speaking of little things, we did some number crunching a while ago and figured out that for about $7, we can provide a fully loaded, in quotes, fully loaded hospital room for our patients. So fully loaded means they'll have access to an Xbox One or a PlayStation, some kind of console. They'll have a mobile device like an iPad or an Android tablet, library of games and movies that they can select from. It gets a little funny because not every hospital actually has the room or space to be able to do that in the room. But certainly small donations can make a big difference for a patient. So, yeah.
That's
Let's
awesome.
check what other questions went by when I was missing.
What about gift cards? Like, do you guys accept gift cards, or like, iTunes gift cards, or Steam cards?
Yeah, it's
Just
difficult. If you were to give us a number of them, like 20 or more, we could take them with us when we visit a hospital and give them out. We visit a hospitals, we give stuff to the patients because they're there, and that's great, and that's a good reason to visit. It's easy to understand. But our sort of secret real goal is to encourage and talk to the child life staff there, because they will be there the next week. A lot of these patients are already gone, and then a whole new batch of patients will be there, and
Right.
the child life staff will be there for the long term. So anyway, but yes, I mean, so one gift card, it would probably be more effective if you just mailed it to the hospital itself.
Perfect.
It would be less postage than us having to then get it to the
Yes.
hospital, and it would get out there quicker. Sorry, I'm just reading all these, trying to
Yeah.
pull out questions.
While you pull one out, I ran into a fan on the street yesterday, so hi, cheeky monkey.
Also, I saw Susan Arndt in chat before.
Hi, Susan, if you're still
Hi,
there, I don't know.
Susan.
We'll remind Russ to eat again.
Yeah.
That was very effective because she was like, "Hello, this is Susan. Tell Russ to eat." And then I was like, "Okay." And then as soon as Russ came in for the busking pageant, a lot of people were like, "Russ, you need to eat." And it's like, yes. Thank you, chat. Very helpful.
I guess I can answer most heartwarming, melting letter, picture, story, your experience beyond the little letter. It won't be that bad. Beyond the little lemonade stand thing posted on my wall, there's so in one of our visits we gave out. Well, actually, most of our visits we gave out Skylander toys, little Skylander toys, and so we visited Seattle Children's and we gave out all these toys, and then like maybe a week later, one of the parents. Sorry. It wasn't the story, it was the gift. One of the parents emailed us saying basically their son, who was maybe 9 and was there for heart stuff, surgery, he saw the toy and remembered that he liked watching his brother play Skylander, his brothers, and then he the parents, they brought in a console. They brought, played Skylanders for him. His dad played when his brothers could come, because they were still in school. When his brothers would come, they would play, and the patient would sit up more, which they were trying to get him to do because he needed to sort of at least sit up to stress his muscles. They brought in some chips and said, "Hey, this is gamer food. You should eat," because he wasn't really eating much.
Yeah.
And it really, it really helped. Like just this small little toy that we gave, we've given out thousands of them across the nation, but this at least in this one instance, it had a super real measurable impact. So
That's awesome.
yeah. But there's tons of stories like that we just don't necessarily hear about. They happen, but yeah, games matter.